from CNBC. FEMA fires employee who told Florida relief workers to skip Trump supporters.
Right.
But the real story is this. The real story is the New York Times headlines. First, from October 4th, Trump's false claims about the federal response to Hurricane Helene. The former president falsely accused the Biden administration of spending disaster funding on migrants, neglecting areas that had voted for Republicans, and ignoring a call from a Republican governor. November 9th, FEMA fires employee for telling Milton relief workers to skip houses with Trump signs. Now let's break this down. I'm seeing a bunch of liberals being like, those are two different hurricanes, Tim. And he was saying they were skipping Republican areas in general. And this is about skipping houses with Trump signs. The fact of the matter is, Donald Trump is speaking off the cuff, hyperbolically, and generally. Trump says they're skipping areas that are Republican. And it turned out FEMA actually had an employee, an official, instructing people to skip over houses with Trump signs on them. Trump wasn't wrong. He was just, what they're trying to do is they're saying Trump wasn't 100% correct on everything he was saying. Therefore, the general idea he was trying to convey is a fact check false. And to be fair, if they said, here's the fact check. We don't know where he's getting the story from. We found no evidence of it to be the case. You know, and this is a claim Trump has made. You can't debunk something just like this is what the mainstream media does, the corporate press. I don't want to call them mainstream anymore because they're fizzling out of existence.
Amen.
Okay. But Trump will say this is a thing that's happening. And the media will go, nope, fact check false. And you'll say, okay, well, I understand you can't prove a negative, but what did you do to try and confirm or disprove this? Look, nothing. Trump's a liar. And you're like, okay. So did you ask Trump where he heard this? Turns out it was actually happening. Different hurricane, mind you, but this stuff is going on. And now they fired the employee over it.
They should be prosecuting the employee, first of all.
Amen.
There should be an actual investigation and
Well, DeSantis is looking into that.
Good.
So Ron announced an investigation, and he's going to see if there's something legal that they can charge her with. I think it's going to happen.
The idea that these things don't happen is, I mean, that was put to bed with Lois Lerner, I think her name was, and the IRS scandal targeting conservatives. This has been going on for over a decade. And I said this the other night. It's only going to get worse until there's a significant overhaul of the people in government. If you have the opinion that a whole political or that your political opponents are less than people, which is exactly the way that the left and the Democrats treat the right. If you have that opinion, this is absolutely going to happen. It's not likely, it's not possible. It will happen because people will behave. They will behave to the lowest expectation, their most base instincts. If they think these people are bad people, these people are immoral, and they can righteously harm others and think that they're doing good by harming them, they are going to do that. That is something that is too sweet of a psychological treat to pass up, to be able to punish other people and feel like you're doing the right thing and doing it righteously. That is something that is human beings will always take that opportunity. So to think that this isn't going to happen or whatever, when you have this attitude, I think it was 90% of people in DC voted for Kamala Harris. You have a one-party town, and that's the center of power. And it's not just D.C. It's all of the surrounding counties, all of Northern Virginia, all of Southern Maryland. It's all the same type of people with the same opinions. Donald Trump has talked about possibly moving a lot of the agencies out of DC, and I don't think that I think that is the best possible thing that he could do, because it breaks up that uniparty single opinion thing that's going on in DC.
Imagine the Department of Agriculture being like
in Iowa,
where the agriculture occurs.
Yeah, in Iowa,
like central to the farmlands of the United States. Imagine that.
Well,
Yeah, that's just crazy.
to the FEMA lady, I feel like she should get charged. I feel like her superiors should get charged because she's under her superiors. I feel like everyone who didn't go to any Trump house should get charged. And no, it's not just following orders when you're in a national disaster zone and you don't give help because they have a freaking Trump sign. You kidding me? All of them, everyone, the whole chain of command should be charged, in my opinion.
Yeah. Wow. I completely agree.
It's a disaster. People are dying and whatnot, and they didn't help it. How are they not helping them?
Because without some kind of actual, real world, tangible repercussions, then people will continue.
Exactly.
You have to make I fully support, obviously, fully support cutting the government by 80%, firing all of these people. There's going to be there needs to be a mass exodus from Northern Virginia and Southern Maryland. It'll make a whole lot of homes cheaper. I mean, there'll be a massive amount of people that are going to have to go somewhere else. And the remaining agencies, they should be broken up and scattered throughout the country. The only thing that you need to have in D.C., you need to have you need to have senators and Congress. They'll need apartments so that way they can go to D.C. The president's there. Everything else can be scattered. Everything else can be broken up. And it should be, because when you have the concentration of power like that, the concentration of opinions, then you're going to end up with these results.
Yes, sir.
Decision Desk has just called another seat for the Republicans, putting the GOP at 219.
Raise the roof.
So there's still a couple more seats up for grabs. It looks like Alaska is likely going to go Republican, which is a flip from the Democrat. And look at that. The greater than 99% chance they win the House, because they've won the House. And it's looking like they originally had a number here, the projected totals. Looks like it's going to be 220. And there's a possibility in California's 13th, but we don't know for sure. Yeah. I don't know if we think this is gonna go. We'll see what happens, but there you go, man. So we'll see. I hope when it comes to the bureaucracy, it's not just firings. I want investigations.
Yes.
So this FEMA thing is where we want investigations.
Yes.
Yep.
DOJ is especially where we want investigations. I think we need a civil rights investigation in New York. I don't care. I am done dealing with these Democrats. They're liars. So you got these fake felony charges. And on CNN and on The View, they're like, how could someone vote for a person with 34 felonies? Trump has no choice. Trump needs to convene something. There needs to be a special investigator for conspiracy against civil rights in New York to go after all of the charges, all of the fake, all the BS, and it should be investigated, exposed, and these people should go to prison. The alternative is Trump does nothing. There's no repercussions for the crimes they committed, and then they happen again when Trump's out of office.
I support that.
Yeah, there's no more standing on our back toes. We didn't start fording the line.
They're going to say, "Oh no, Trump's the fascist going after his political enemies."
That's fine.
There's no off ramp. I don't see any navigating through this.
Well, they could head that off by, the judge, the sentencing coming up. He could just say, "Well, we're not going to do it."
No, don't care. Trump needs to go after. Trump needs to.
What
send
about the legal
DOJ.
system? The legal system.
To your point, they're going to say Trump's a fascist. The good news is they've been saying it for a decade.
Now it doesn't mean anything.
No one gives a shit.
Yeah.
It's meaningless.
Same old thing.
They've ruined
You're a
so many
racist, Phil.
words.
Oh,
I don't care.
Same thing.
I guarantee you that the Krasensteins know the 34 felony charges have no underlying crime.
Of course they know.
They know that.
They're not dummies.
This is the issue with. You want to know why Democrats lose? They lose because, as Greg Gutfeld said, their whole news cycle is downstream from hoaxes, and once you see through one, that's it. There's no going back.
Amen.
So when you're looking at Trump being charged with felonies, they're hoping morons who don't pay attention are going to keep believing it. The moment you say, "Hey, look, there's no underlying crime," they go, "Huh? What was he charged with? A misdemeanor? But it's 34 felonies. Sure, but the crime they charged him with is a misdemeanor, so they made up the felonies." Huh? Look it up. Look, I say this story a lot.
He got a loan. He paid it back. Whoa.
They made money.
Everybody was happy.
Well, the civil fraud charge was the civil fraud. They claimed that he said that his one of his suites was 30,000 square feet when it was 10,000. That's fraud. He lied about the size of the building, of the space, to get a loan. Use that loan as collateral to invest. Therefore, fraud. The only problem? All of these liability and asset disclosures packets have disclosures. And the bank that lent the money said, yes, Trump included a disclosure that stated these numbers may be incorrect and the bank is required to do their due diligence to make sure the numbers are correct. They then said, after reviewing his documents, we did disagree and we revised them. He agreed to the lower amount, the lower loan, so basically Trump says, here's my property. The numbers may be off. They looked at it and said, your numbers are off. We're not going to give you the money you want, but we will give you some money. And Trump went, sounds good to me. And then went, fraud. So that's the fraud charge. Trump has to. If he doesn't, I'm going to be so pissed off because this is the one that matters the most. Do we have equality under the law, or are we going to let rogue elements in New York do whatever they want and burn this country to the ground? I say no.
I say no. I say no.
So I do have one more. We're going to go to Super Chats, but before I do, I want to give a shout out to Scottie Pippen.
Scottie Pippen?
Scottie Pippen, who wants to read it?
Basketball player?
Satoshi Nakamoto visited me in my dream last night and predicted that Bitcoin would be at $84,650 on November 5th, 2024. Not financial advice. This was posted September 3rd.
And everybody was making fun of him. Bro is cooked, LMAO. They're like, okay, dude, he did not appear in your dreams. The current Bitcoin price on November 11th is $88,258.
Where clearly Scottie Pippen is wrong.
Yo, Scottie Pippen's a bull. He's a
wrong.
champion.
It's 88.
He's
Yep,
Scottie
and it was 79,000.
That's hilarious.
On November 5th, it was not that high. So let's do.
Basketball champs are in the Bitcoin, gents and ladies.
Yeah, no. He was unfortunately very wrong. On the 5th, it was 68,000 to 74,000. So he was wrong. He was wrong.
He was pretty close. He was directionally correct.
But here's
Directionally
the
correct.
point. Eric Balchuna says, dude got destroyed in the comments, but take all the sell side research, newsletters, and TV pundits this year, and I can't recall any of them coming closer than this to nailing a call.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Scottie Pippen being like, he visited me in my dreams. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.